You really think that he's gonna sit there and be like, yeah, I drew inspiration from Pazuzu. I even want that energy to be within the labubu. Like, you think he's gonna go around saying that? Do what you want with your money, but I don't want to hear about how in a couple of months or even years, how you wasted so much money on a micro fucking trend and now you regret it. I said two things can be true at once. Or creator of labubus, yes, can take inspiration from where the wild things are, but the same thing can be true is that he can also take inspiration from Pazuzu.
No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Love yours. Thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing, no such thing.
Jamba everyone, welcome or welcome back, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about if labubus are demonic or not, and also the issues with trends and consumerism. So without further ado, let's get started. Of course, if y'all know me, call me a conspiracy theorist, I really don't care. I of course follow Shelby Almanac. I always butcher her name, so my bad if I do, but she posted this and I was like, yes, this is what I want my next YouTube video to be about. Of course, I haven't done a sit down video in a little bit, so this is where I was like, let me kick it off with being controversial per usual. So of course I started doing research, and she had made a post that was talking about why are people so obsessed with half naked, demon looking, you know, whatever, hanging on people's purses. And that got me thinking about how trends really come and go. And especially with this like labubu, I have never felt inclined to buy a labubu, okay? I've never felt inclined because I don't like gambling. I've never gambled in my life. I've never gone to the casino. I've never, you know, did a parlay or whatever. That's just not me. I'm the type of person where if I make my money, I don't want to lose my money. Granted, if I can make more money, okay, cool. But I know the addiction that comes with gambling. So why would I do that to myself? I was even going to make a video talking about modern day gambling and how it has been so normalized that now people will literally gamble and not even blink twice. And it's actually a little bit scary. So I think this is like the same thing, because even in the video that she was talking about, like she had her thing on the screen where it's like, you are under spells, people. You are under spells, people. You are under spells. And that's genuinely how it feels. So that's where I'm also like, the energy that comes from labubus, I've never been, like I said, inclined to just go out and try to start collecting them, because I know how trends work, especially micro trends. We literally just had Sunny Angels and now we've moved on to labubus, and then watch in another 6 months it's going to be a whole different thing. So that's where I'm like, everybody hops on trends so freaking quickly without actually seeing it through, because then in a couple months it's not going to be there anymore. What are we doing? Of course this video was slightly clickbait, but I'm still kind of like, you know, serious at the same time, because I think that yes, people can get inspo off of different things. Like I know a lot of people were saying that the inspo was from where the wild things are. Two things can be true at once. Yes, that can be the character that you wanted to base it off of, but there's also other things that they're not telling you. You really think that he's gonna sit there and be like, yeah, I drew inspiration from Pazuzu. I even want that energy to be within the labubu. Like, you think he's gonna go around saying that? No. So that's where I'm like, people, I just saw this one girl's video where she's like, labubus are not demonic. This is a Pazuzu and this is a labubu. They're two different things. Well, no fucking shit, they're two different things. But at the same time, like I said, people can draw inspiration from those things and still not tell the truth. Like, why are we not using our critical thinking skill? Also, this is my first time that y'all are seeing me film a video with this hair, so I've especially been seeing so many videos where people are comparing their labubus to Pazuzus, and of course later on we will talk about how the different signs that people are seeing that these things are not all that they're cracked up to be. So I really at this point want to read off, because I have an article, or I have basically a thing from Reddit where somebody goes a little bit in depth about what actually Pazuzu does, and I think that that will help, because I think people keep using the excuse of, oh well, it was back then and he's actually a deity that protects people. No, because you guys read one fucking line and you don't read everything else that is above and below it. So we're gonna do that now. So I'm reading off of Reddit, so let's go. It said, also known as Zu or Anzu, he has a few stories in Mesopotamia lore as a wind demon, and his brother was Humbaba, the guardian of the cedar forest, whom Gilgamesh and Enkidu slayed. See, a lot of words I don't know. Pazuzu's name was associated with terrifying storms, famine, and diseases, which made him a figure of dread throughout Mesopotamia. The ancient Assyrians and Babylon believed that the western wind he commanded carried plagues and locusts that ravaged the land. At the same time, though, Pazuzu could also be called upon protection, especially against his greatest rival, Lamishtu, a demonic goddess known for preying on infants and pregnant women. So I think this is where a lot of people were finding, oh, well, he actually helps, he actually did it. But let's keep reading. People in ancient Mesopotamia would wear or display Pazuzu amulets in their home to keep Lamashtu at bay. Pazuzu was a paradoxical figure, someone you'd call on to ward off worse evil, but who would not hesitate to punish if he were angered. It's a relationship almost that that between humans and an unpredictable forces of nature, terrifying yet necessary. What makes Pazuzu such a powerful and unsettling figure is his control over natural forces. Ancient Mesopotamian texts describe him as a harbinger of pestilence and blight, a role that instilled fear and reverence among the people. Pazuzu could influence anything from health of crops to the fate of human lives, and his role in these matters were not taken lightly. In times of drought or plague, Pazuzu's name would be evoked in rituals either to appease him or ask him for his mercy. Because of his association with illness, he was particularly feared during epidemics. The threat of Pazuzu wasn't something as straightforward as a physical monster, it was the threat of nature turned against humanity, a fear that transcends time and still resonates with us today. And then it goes a little bit deeper into like The Exorcist and how somebody corrected them, but it was saying that the author of the book chose Pazuzu, not the film director. And it was basically saying like in 1973, The Exorcist brought Pazuzu into modern imagination with a terrifying twist. In the film, the demon possesses a young girl named Reagan, causing chaos, violence, and chilling supernatural phenomena. Though the movie doesn't delve deeply into Pazuzu's mythological Jesus Christ. Though the movie doesn't delve deeply into Pazuzu's mythological background, it borrowed the ancient entity's name and used it as a foundation for one of the cinema's most iconic horror antagonists. So yeah, so that was kind of like a little bit of the background behind Pazuzu and why like a lot of people can associate Pazuzu with labubus. And what was really interesting while reading that, I know it said labubus were made in 2019, right? And didn't it just say Pazuzu was very feared, especially during epidemics? What came a year after? COVID. I'm not saying that those have like any correlation, but I do think that it's very, very interesting. I think that one of the things that we need to look at is how it says Pazuzu ravaged the land. They were scared when it came to famine, when it came to epidemics. What happened in 2020? COVID? Yeah. So I think that's why I kind of like, and obviously they didn't, you know, become popular until now, but that's where I'm just like, guys, why did they come popular out of nowhere? Of course, people saw famous people or a pop star wearing them and they're like, I want that too. So then it obviously started, you know, creating this whole type of trend. And that's where I'm just like, this trend isn't gonna last for another 3 months. I'm telling y'all right now, once we go back to school in the fall, labubus aren't gonna be a thing. Mark my words. So yes, people can use the excuse, oh, he's a demon, but he protects against, you know, an even worse demon. At the end of the day, the nigga is still a demon. Like, why? Why are we trying to justify that? He's still a demon. So now moving on to what are labubus. Labubus are essentially this figurine, this, I would say, gambling addiction that people can go into Pop Mart or they can buy them off of people, and essentially you don't know what you're gonna get. A blind box is there's a different amount of characters in the box, whatever one you don't know which one you get, and you essentially, you know, open it and see which one you got. Sometimes you can get the rare mystery box. A lot of the time people do get replicas because you're buying so many at one time. I know I'm so removed from labubus and how much they cost because I don't even know how much they cost. Let's look. We're on Pop Mart right now. $30 to $40. $30 to $40. No. No, you are underspelled, people. You're underspelled. For y'all to be paying this much money, investing this much money into a fucking labubu that adds no value, that gains no value over time, for what? To have a trinket? Like, I'd be thinking I'd be spending money on stupid shit, and then I see what people are doing with their money, and I'm like, I see why America's in debt. Because y'all will jump on any fucking trend as soon as it comes out. Stanley's, Awalas, fucking this now. But that's what I'm saying. Like, people are so quick to jump on trends that you don't realize, like, where is this trend gonna be in a year from now? And maybe, who knows, in 20, 30 years, they will revive again and they will become popular. But at the same time, I think a lot of people are not thinking about the spiritual aspect from it, okay? And I know this girl was going in deep talking about labubus are not demonic. Okay, maybe because you don't listen to your intuition, or you don't even have intuition to be listening to. Because if people had sense, they would understand that labubus are not all it, okay? Especially spiritual people. There was this one girl who was burning her labubu and she literally had an ankh on her forehead. So that already tells me, yes, you're spiritual and you probably knew that there was something up with these and you didn't want to partake in it anymore. And that's where I'm just like, guys, let's open our eyes. Let's use our thinking skills and think, what is this based off of? Like I've said, I never really got FOMO or anything when it comes to buying a labubu or even getting a labubu because I am already a very vivid dreamer, okay? You think I'm gonna have a labubu sitting on my fucking nightstand or sitting on my thing over there, my organizer, and staring at me as I fucking sleep? No, thank you. No, thank you. Do what you want with your money, but I don't want to hear about how in a couple of months or even years, how you wasted so much money on a micro fucking trend and now you regret it, especially when you find out that they actually are demonic. So again, moving into my opinion, why I think they are demonic. Personally, I just never got a good vibe from labubus. I also think just like the energy of going out and buying one and not knowing which one you're getting in the blind boxes, I'm not wasting my money to get something that I don't like. That's gambling, y'all. That is gambling. That's like going to the casino with $20 and thinking that you're about to be up up an extra $100, but you're like, let me just do this play one more time, and you lose all your fucking money. That's how I look at labubus and blind boxes and everything like that. If somebody wants to buy me a blind box, cool. Make sure it's not a labubu though. But also at the same time, I'm not willing to go out there and spend money on a trinket that's gonna sit there in my room. That's just not me. I am more of, I've said this so many times, investing in tech and cameras and shoes and things that I can use on the daily. I like to call them invisible, I think I call them like invisible expenses or whatever, like things like body wash, toothpaste, things that you use every single day and that have a purpose. But yes, it can be expensive up front, but at the same time, the longevity of that makes up for it. With labubus, what are you getting out of it? Like genuinely, what are you getting out of having a little trinket on your purse besides it being a status symbol and just showing that you're with the trends? Let a bitch know. That's what I thought. So that's where I'm like, everybody was so quick to hop on a trend, and then y'all are out here screaming, being gagged just because you have a certain colored labubu? No thank you. And I've also seen in videos where this girl, I'm gonna play a couple videos that obviously play into what I'm talking about, but there's a little girl saying that her labubu's eyes change color.
What happened?
His eye just turned green.
What do you mean they turned green?
Oh, hell nah.
Don't throw it to me! What happened?
It just turned green and I was cleaning my room.
What do you mean it turned green?
It's his eye.
His eye?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What the fuck? And then there was another girl saying that her labubu scratched her in the middle of the night while she was sleeping or trying to take a nap or whatever.
Oh, look at this. That's a dumb motherfucker hickey. That is not a scratch. My nails are not even that long or sharp for me to scratch myself. I took a nap, y'all, like an hour and a half nap right now. And
what the fuck? I can see one case from that and just already know and be like, no thank you, no thank you. So that's what I'm saying, like, people are messing with deities and entities that they have no idea on, and you guys think it's cute just because you're following a trend. I don't give a fuck. And I have said this so many times. That's why I don't care how many views my video get, because at the end of the day, if I want to go back 2-3 years from now and be like, bitch, I've been saying that, bitch, I've been saying that, it's right fucking there. I have already made a video talking about we are already living in Black Mirror. Predictive programming is right in our faces. And I say this because The Simpsons literally came out with an episode where they had Pazuzu and Homer accidentally ordered it thinking, I think it was a pizza or something, but it was now put in Maggie's room, and then Maggie's possessed. The baby was possessed. And the only way that it could get out was by going into Bart's body, and even the entity was like, it's too dark in here, let me out. So that's where I'm just like trying to say, like, they show us these things and then they put it in our faces to see if we're gonna pass the test or not, and because of trends and because of consumerism, you guys fail every single time. Wake up. Like I said, now everybody is, you know, who isn't spiritually inclined is trying to make up some type of excuse. Oh my god, sorry, I keep having to adjust the camera. The lighting keeps going in and out, so I get dark, then I get light, then I get dark. Y'all already know how this works out. Anyways, like I was saying, The Simpsons, I'm pretty sure the people who created that show are like Freemasons or whatever the fuck, and they have all this power. So you really think that they're not going to predict this shit? They're not gonna put it in our faces? Because that is literally one of the karmic rules of the universe. If you're going to do something, no matter how evil, no matter how whatever, you just have to put it in some type of cartoon. You basically have to tell people what you're doing before you do it. So by doing this, by them showing Pazuzu's and it coming in like the Amazon box, and Marge undoing it and showing it and all this other stuff, and then Maggie becoming possessed, that's all I gotta say. Like I said, my girl Shelby always hits the fucking nail on the head, and that is where I'm like, I look at the stuff that she's talking about, and that's why she has such a niche amount of community, because people, if you're really open-minded, it sucks being aware all the time, but if you're really open-minded, you're able to see this shit. So that is why I'm saying that, like I've said, I've never been inclined to buy a labubu, and now I know why. Those bitches are demonic. Depending on what you believe in, what you want to spend your money on, this is all my opinion. Like I say in all my YouTube videos, this is just my opinion. Of course, it was a little bit clickbaity, but of course, this is my opinion, and I do believe that labubus are demonic, and you won't see me even buying one. I'll be like, if you want to buy me a blind box, go get me a fucking something else, but not a labubu. No thank you, no thank you. So of course, this is my opinion. Spend your money on whatever you wanted. I just wanted to make this video just because of my strong spiritual beliefs, and I definitely feel like labubus are demonic. And as much as people want to say they aren't based off of Pazuzu and this and this and that, I said two things can be true at once. Or in creator of labubus, yes, can take inspiration from Where the Wild Things Are, but the same thing can be true is that he can also take inspiration from Pazuzu. And he has already said that he likes that, like, even in a way, to me, satanic type of scary looking shit. So with him doing that and then coming out with labubus, and then it saying that Pazuzu was known for famine, epidemics, drought, all that other stuff, and then they were made in 2019, and then what happened a year fucking later? No coincidences. There's never any coincidences. And maybe I'm just the first one to, you know, connect the dots, and it may be a very, very like to connect the dots, but at the end of the day, that's truly what I believe, and it's my opinion. I think I've yapped enough. Oh my god, this lighting. I think I've yapped enough. Again, like I said so many times, this is my personal opinion, and if you want to keep going out and buying labubus, do you, boo boo. I'm not finna judge, just a little bit, but I'm not finna judge, okay? Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye, y'all.
When you lead me to the yard was the last word.